When you play this game, you cannot look at the woman. This woman is not human. There is a belief that if you make contact with or talk to this particular lady, you can be stuck and tied to this other dimension forever with no way back. Ignore her presence entirely. Press the button to go down to the first floor. If the elevator starts descending to the first floor, you know the ritual has failed. Want to know what happens if the ritual is a success? Hello, listeners. Welcome to Dark and Divine Encounters. I'm your host, Denise Dodge, and each episode I will be guiding you through two real supernatural encounters, one eerie and the other one heartwarming. Life is a mix of trials and triumphs, and I've seen that the paranormal is no different. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us on social media for updates. New episodes drop every Wednesday until the season ends. Please share this podcast with people you know that love scary stories, spiritual lore, and anything unexplained. Please note, this podcast features stories of paranormal activity and true crime, which may contain details or descriptions of events and incidents that may be unsettling or triggering for some listeners. Take care of your needs first and always. Today, for our dark segment, we're taking you into the unsettling world of the elevator game, an eerie urban legend that is said to transport those who dare to another dimension. This mysterious ritual, which originated in Korea, involves pressing a sequence of elevator buttons in a specific order, and it leads to a shift between our reality and a shadowy parallel universe. Many claim to have experienced strange encounters, disorienting visions, and feelings of being watched once they cross over. But is this just a dangerous game, or could it be a gateway to something far more sinister? For our divine segment, we're going to hear about the heartwarming Chaffing Will Case, where a son's father, after passing away, visits him in a dream with a crucial message. The father revealed the hidden location of his missing will. Following this dream, the son uncovered the will in the exact spot as described. Have you ever heard of the elevator ritual? It's one of South Korea's most spine-chilling urban legends. If the steps are followed precisely, it is believed to transport you to a mysterious, eerie dimension. Another dimension that is similar to ours because it's layered over our existing 3D space-time dimension that we experience on a normal basis. Over time, this legend has captured the imaginations of many. The elevator game shares a lot in common with supernatural games that have become popular in America, like the Bloody Mary game, Ouija boards, and even the Midnight Man game. If you haven't heard of those, I'm sure I'll cover them in a future episode. But each of these games taps into the fear of the unknown and invites players to open themselves to another dimension or supernatural entity, depending on what game you're playing. So where did the elevator game come from, and how do you play? Pinpointing the exact origin of this ritual is difficult because there's a lot of debate over where it started, but most agree that it most likely originated in South Korea or Japan. South Korea in particular seems to have embraced the ritual, and over the years its popularity has grown thanks to online communities, including forums like Reddit and different horror websites. As more people discovered it, the story went viral. Well, I discovered it, and I was like, I have to tell the story. I'll say though, before we really dive in, when I was doing the research on the elevator ritual, it legit creeped me out and I had to take a lot of breaks, but I got through it. I didn't play the game, but I'm going to tell you what I found out and what I learned. It's creepy. So how do we play the elevator ritual? Before we dive into how to play, let me make something clear. This is supposed to just be an urban legend. I didn't find any solid scientific proof that elevators can transport people to alternate worlds. So I just want to throw that in there, but the tale itself is really unsettling, and it intrigued me enough to make me kind of think twice about it. So here we are. The rules are specific, very specific, and there's many warnings associated with the ritual. What's even more disturbing is there's no clear way to guarantee that you'll return from the other side, according to other people who have played. And if you're feeling brave, here's what you need to know to play. Basic rules are this. You must play alone. You cannot bring friends. You cannot bring companions. You can't even tell people the day and the time in the building that you're going to go do this. It has to be unplanned. It must be you and you alone. You are your own warrior in this journey. The building that you choose must have at least 10 floors, and the elevator needs to be able to reach all of them. The next rule is that you cannot talk to anyone, not a single word, not to any of the employees, nobody. And if somebody else gets on the elevator, you are ordered to stop the ritual immediately and leave the building. There is an exception at the 5th floor, but I will explain that better later. If you ever feel uneasy, you can stop and exit the building right away. The suggested method to leave, though, is to simply hit the 1st floor and then exit. So some things to keep in mind. You can start the ritual at any time of day, any time at night. Many prefer nighttime because it's at night where there's going to be fewer people who are going to interrupt you by getting on the elevator. You'll also want to memorize the steps, and it's advised not to rely on electronics to track them, because some people have said, and some people believe, that once you begin the ritual, your phone will suddenly not work. And if you make it to the other dimension, your phone definitely won't work. So you have to memorize the instructions. Let's walk through the steps. Here is a step-by-step guide. And if you want to do this on your own, I'll put a copy of the script on my website so that you can make notes and memorize the order in which to follow. You're going to enter your chosen building. Remember, it has to have 10 stories, and the elevator must reach all of them. You're going to call the elevator by pressing the up button. Don't press down. Make sure that before you enter, the elevator is empty. If anyone is inside, wait for the next one. Once you're inside the elevator, press the button for the 4th floor, but do not get off when you arrive. Then, hey, are you ready to turn your house into a smart home? With Eufy, you can join over 9 million families worldwide who trust Eufy for top-notch smart home technology. They believe great products should be thoughtfully designed to meet your needs. At Eufy, they care about more than just functional performance. Their intuitive, human-first technology seamlessly integrates into your life, helping you focus on what truly matters. Plus, with a hassle-free warranty, a 30-day money-back guarantee, free shipping, and lifetime customer service, you can have peace of mind for you and your entire family. If you want to support our podcast while enjoying amazing smart home products, click on my affiliate link to shop at Eufy. The link is in my show description, and any purchase you decide to make helps keep our show running. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and invite your friends and family to listen to our podcast too. If you're listening on Spotify, scroll down to participate in the questionnaire or leave a comment. Thank you so much. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter your chosen building that has 10 stories. You're going to call the elevator by pressing the up button. Don't press down. Make sure the elevator is empty before you enter, and if anyone's inside, just wait for the next one. Once you're inside, press the button for the 4th floor, but do not get off when you arrive. The door is going to open. Next, you're going to press the button for the 2nd floor. Stay on the elevator as it moves. Repeat this process of going up and down between the 6th, the 2nd, the 10th, and then the 5th floor. There's a woman on the 5th floor. If a woman enters the elevator on the 5th floor, do not speak to her. Do not look at her. She is not human. The belief is that if you make contact with or talk to the lady from the 5th floor, you're going to be stuck and tied to this other dimension forever, and there's no way back. So ignore her presence entirely. Press the button to go down to the 1st floor. If the elevator starts descending and going to the 1st floor, that means the ritual has failed. You should immediately leave the building and don't speak to anyone. Don't look back. You can come back on a different day to repeat the ritual and see if you can get it to work. But on this day, if it doesn't work out and you end up on the 1st floor, just leave. However, if instead of going down, the elevator rises to the 10th floor, that means the ritual was successful. When you arrive at the 10th floor, the doors are going to open. And this is where you have your final choice. You can stay in the elevator, ride back down to the 1st floor and leave, or you can step out onto the 10th floor. But if you exit, you need to be very cautious. The legend says that you'll know you reached another world because you'll be entirely alone. Everything will look normal, but there will be no other people. And what that means is the sky will be dark. Some describe a strange red glow on everything, and some have described that there's glowing red in the distance. But when they look out into the world, there's no people. And when they listen, there's no sound. There's no murmuring city sound. There's no traffic, no honking cars, nothing. It's as if the entire world is completely desolate. At this point, don't forget which elevator you used. And I mean, if there are multiple elevators exiting the 10th floor, don't forget which one you used, because you're going to need that elevator to return back to the normal world. Some people report feeling disoriented as the hallway appears to stretch, and it makes it seem like the elevator is getting farther away. But even if that happens, don't give up. Just keep moving towards the elevator when you're ready to leave. It's going to be quite the optical illusion, according to those who have experienced it, but keep going. When you're ready to return home, you repeat the button sequence, but it's backwards. You're going to go 4th, 2nd, 6th, 2nd, 10th, 5th, and then the 1st floor. If the elevator starts to rise again, cancel it by pressing any button before passing the 9th floor. Meaning, if you're meant to go down to the 2nd floor, but it's rising up, you need to hit any other button before you reach the 9th floor. Once you safely reach the 1st floor, make sure everything looks familiar before you step out, because if you step out, you might get stuck in that dimension. If anything feels off, you might not be home yet. Some claim that strange things happen after playing the game. And this is what makes it so creepy and scary, because the game could even fail. and you might still have after effects according to the lore surrounding this superstitious game, which means you might have gone to the building, entered the elevator, started progressing, but then somebody entered the elevator and it wasn't the 5th level lady. So then you end up canceling the ritual and leaving. But even if the ritual is unsuccessful, you can still have after effects according to people who have attempted the game. And what the after effects are is that you feel like you're watched and you start experiencing sleep paralysis. You might start finding shadowy figures that appear out of the corners of your vision and over time slowly start taking over your vision, where you see the shadows right in front of you. Some of them say that the shadows start haunting you in your nightmares, and it's even rumored that a malevolent spirit might follow you home from the other world. And if you speak to the woman on the 5th floor, some say that she'll keep you trapped in the other world, while others suggest that she'll just haunt your dreams forever. The elevator ritual taps into our deepest fears of the unknown. It's a simple game, but it's terrifying because it doesn't require any special tools. It's just an elevator and a sense of curiosity to see what happens. But is it real? There's no evidence to support its validity, but it remains an active urban legend, a story that stirs the imagination and raises goosebumps. Whether or not you choose to try it, just remember, it's just a story. Or is it? But for real, I have not played this game, so I cannot tell you from personal experience if it works or what happens or what it's like. I'm naturally a little bit of a paranoid person anyway, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to attempt this one. But have you ever tried playing the game? I want to hear about your experience. So if you've played the elevator game, please, please, please send me an email or fill out my contact form on my website. I really want to know. Did you enter a different dimension? Did it feel like you did? Did you have after effects? How did you know? Did a woman enter the 5th floor? I want the details. You've just heard a chilling history of events that reminds us of the darker side of the supernatural, but here at Dark and Divine Encounters, we know that not all paranormal experiences are filled with elevators that could potentially keep us stuck in some other space-time dimensional place. Sometimes they bring comfort, guidance, and even closure from the other side. So let's shift our focus from the unsettling mysteries of the elevator game to something more uplifting. Our next story will remind you that the supernatural can offer reassurance and hope, especially when it comes in the form of a loved one's final message from beyond. So for the divine segment today, I decided to do the Chaffing Will Case. I believe that's how you say it. I apologize if I mess it up. But the Chaffing Will Case. It's an intriguing and mysterious story about a man who seemed to reach out to his family from beyond the grave to correct a mistake involving his will. So 4 years after his death, James L. Chaffin, a farmer from North Carolina, allegedly appeared to one of his sons in a vision, revealing the existence of a second will. Some believe this event supports the idea of life after death, while others think that it might be explained by clairvoyance or telepathy. Either way, it counts for my podcast because it's supernatural or very spiritual in essence. James Chaffin had 4 sons, and in 1905, he wrote a will leaving his entire estate to his 3rd son, Marshall. He did not include his other children or his wife. However, it seems that years later, he had a change of heart. In 1919, Chaffin wrote a new will by hand, dividing his property equally amongst all of his children. He then hid the will in an old family Bible, specifically in the passages of Genesis 27, and even stitched a note about the will into the pocket of his coat that he wore every day. But he never told anyone about the change before his death, which happened in 1921. The original 1905 will was executed and the estate was passed to Marshall without any objections. But in 1925, something very unusual happened. Hey listeners, whether you're jetting off to explore a new city or rediscovering the hidden gems in your own backyard, I've got a tip for you. Check out Viator, a TripAdvisor company, for amazing deals on tickets to experiences, attractions, landmarks, and activities all over the globe. So imagine snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, touring historic castles in Europe, or even taking a thrilling ghost tour right here at home. It is Halloween season. Viator has it all, and at reduced prices too. You might even find tickets to visit the incredible places that we talk about right here on Dark and Divine Encounters. Dive into your next adventure with Viator and make every trip unforgettable. Click my affiliate link in the show notes to get started and support Dark and Divine Encounters while you're at it. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and invite your friends and family to listen to our podcast too. If you're listening on Spotify, scroll down to participate in the questionnaire or leave a comment. Thank you so much. The original 1905 will was executed and the estate was passed to Marshall without any objections. But in 1925, something very unusual happened. James P. Chaffin, one of the other sons, began having dreams where his late father started appearing to him. In these dreams, James silently stood by his son's bedside. But during one particular dream, he began to speak. He instructed James to check the pocket of his old coat for the will. The next morning, James followed the vision's advice, found the coat, and discovered the hidden note directing him to the Bible. With witnesses at hand, he located the Bible and, in front of everyone, the second will. The new will was brought to court, and though it was contested by Marshall's widow and son, they eventually conceded, where 10 witnesses testified that the handwriting was indeed James Chaffin's. The new will was accepted and the estate was then redistributed among all of his children. Several theories have been proposed to explain this case. One possibility is that James Chaffin forged the will and made up the ghost story, but this seems unlikely since the handwriting was verified as genuine. Another theory is that the family knew about the second will but completely forgot about it, and with the information resurfacing during James's dreams. Some have suggested that clairvoyance or telepathy might explain how James became aware of the hidden will. The most mysterious explanation is that James's father really did return from the afterlife to correct the oversight in his estate, which offered a compelling case for the possibility of life after death. Interestingly, this story mirrors another case from 1891 in Iowa, where a farmer named Michael Conley appeared to his daughter in a vision after he died. He revealed that money was sewn into the pocket of his shirt, which was later confirmed. Both stories remain unexplained, leaving us all to wonder whether these are cases of supernatural communication or simply unknown forces at work. We want to hear your own paranormal experiences. Have you had an encounter with a spirit or played a game and experienced something that you just cannot explain? Send your experiences my way and you might hear them featured in an upcoming episode. You can reach out via email, social media, or through our website. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, my donation links are in the show description below. You'll also find a link to my show notes if you want more details about today's topics. Your support helps us keep exploring real paranormal encounters together. Please share this podcast with people you know who love scary stories, spiritual lore, and anything unexplained. And that brings us to the end of this episode today. We've balanced the scales of the paranormal, revealing both the unsettling and the uplifting. Thank you for listening to Dark and Divine Encounters. Until next time, tread lightly but fearlessly.